the type of budget. Once we set the sales budget, the production budget is prepared. The production budget lists the number of units that must be produced to satisfy the sales need and to provide for the desired ending inventory. Production needs can be determined as follows. If you look at the figure, the budgeted unit sales is nothing but how much I'm planning to sell. This is from the sales budget. Every company, in order not to be squeezed, in order not to have insufficient inventory for the coming quarter, they put some desired ending inventory. Usually that ending inventory can be a percentage of the next quarter's planned sales budget. So we have to add the desired ending inventory of finished goods, how much we need to sell, how much we plan to keep to meet next quarter's demand. So the total need that we have should be the summation of these two. Again, this is how much we need during a certain budget period. We have to look how much we have already inventory of finished goods in our warehouses. We deduct that amount and we're left with the required production. How much we need to produce to meet the sales budget, not to fall short and not to have excess inventory in our warehouse. Let's move now to talk a little bit about the production budget. As I said, usually in the production budget, we have to start with the sales figure. Our budgeted sales in the first schedule was 10,000 cases in the first quarter, 30 in the second, 40 the peak in the third quarter, and 20,000 cases in the fourth quarter, summing up to 100,000 as planned sales for the year. We add the desired inventory of finished goods. In that period, we have to keep in mind that freeze management, they believe that an ending inventory of 20% of the next quarter's sales will be an appropriate balance for them. So that way they will not fall short of their planned sales. So having this desired ending inventory of 20% of the second quarter sales figure, so we have to look at the budget. In the second quarter, they are planning to sell 30,000 cases. So 20% of these 30,000 cases will be 6,000. So the total needed to be produced during the first quarter is 16,000 cases. But with these 16,000 cases, they have to look into their warehouse. They have a beginning inventory of finished goods equal to 2,000 cases. So effectively, during that first quarter, all they have to produce is 14,000 cases to meet the sales budget. So this way, if we go again into the second quarter, we have 30,000 in budgeted sales. We have 8,000 being 20% of the third quarter. So we're left with 38. The 6,000 beginning inventory of the second quarter is nothing but the 6,000 being the ending inventory of the first quarter. So what we ended the first quarter with, we will start the second quarter with it. What we ended the second quarter with, we will start as the beginning of the third quarter. And the same, the end of the third quarter, the 4,000 will be the beginning of the fourth quarter. If you look at this figure, the 3,000, that 3,000, the desired ending inventory of the fourth quarter is assumed based on the first quarter of the 2013 of the coming year's sales budget. So this is assumed. If we look at the required production cases, it is nothing but the total needed minus the inventory that we have for each quarter. For the first quarter, we have to produce 14,000 cases. For the second quarter, 32, 36,000 for the third quarter, and so on for the fourth quarter. So the total production needed during the year is 101,000 cases. If you look at the total of the year, we see that 100,000 is nothing but the total of the sales budget that we talked about in Schedule 1. This 3,000, it's not the total of the whole ending inventory. It's only the figure of the fourth quarter. This is the figure that will run into the next year with it. This is what we will have in our warehouses. As for the total needed for the year, it is the total of each quarter being 1,000, and 2,000 beginning is nothing but the beginning of the first quarter in terms of 2,000 cases. And so on, we have to be sure that in some cases, the budgeted sales, the total needs, and the required production, we have to look at them carefully. And the amount listed for each year, as I said, is the summation of each quarter. And again, to stress on this fact, with the exception of the ending inventory. Let's move now to inventory purchases. I have decided